Hey, folks. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. How many of you have already sort of starting off on a personal note? Because why not? Uh, how many of you have sort of finished your status runs or are just about getting started with your last little bit of travel to lock in your status? And of course, I'm asking that because I finally, for the first time in maybe, and I'm being very honest here, in the last 15 years, have not left my status runs to November and December. So super happy to say that October, whenever I was in Chicago last, I think late October, uh, that little trip tipped me over. So I huffed and puffed my way, but I've made 50K happen again for 2026 with Aeroplan. So super happy about that. Um, will I, and I was looking at the SQD. I've almost spent a little more than $7,000, and my SQM reading was just over 50, so like 51,000 something. So I'm happy I tipped over. I just don't know if I want to spend 7 grand in a year um, on flights. I'll see. I say this, but oftentimes just gradually between work and a few things here and there, I end up spending that much. I'd be very surprised if I'm not able to reel that back a little bit. And by that, what I mean is I don't know if my focus would be as if I would be as headstrong in trying to get 50K next year, because with the new system and with the new sort of uh, your status earned being based solely on how much money you're earning and what fare bucket you're purchasing. It'll be interesting to see what my SQD looks like in the first few months, or in the first sort of half of the year. After I've done my quick read in the first half of the year, I'll be able to sort of convince myself pretty easily one way or the other. If I'm close enough and I feel like I can make things happen between, say, June to October, November, I think I'll still try and do it. But if I'm worse off than I was this year, then I'm definitely saying I'll definitely say a disappointing goodbye to Aeroplan's 50K status next year. I think I should organically still sort of keep 35K. I'm not worried about that, but it'd be nice to sort of not have to worry about it. So we'll see how it goes. I see a few comments have come through, so I'm just gonna take a few of your comments and understand what you folks are up to in terms of your status journey. Grimsley says, I missed the Porter live stream, but watched the video. Was there any uncensored discussion after the interview? Um, Grimsley, I'll come back to that in a quick second. Let me just finish this status thing that's rolling around in my head. Yeah, exactly. Alex says no need for status runs when you book directly in JRF when you book JRF directly. Of course, although I'm jealous of Air Canada's super elite free award cancellation. Yeah, and I've said this before. I think that would be the only thing that sort of I feel like, oh, I wish I had 100K is the free award cancellation. And of course, the priority reward is so much better. If I was 100K, then I would just be working 2 times as hard to keep my 100K. That's for sure, but that's not the case, has not been the case for a few years now. Uh, Grimsley says, is this the advice from status coaching? I don't know. I do my own status coaching, Grimsley. So if you ever feel confused, you don't have to even pay me anything. I can give it to you for free. My status coaching is very simple. 9 out of 10 people don't really need status. It's just a manufactured FOMO that people think they need status, be it hotels or airlines, to be honest, especially in this points community, because of what Alex said. If you can learn and understand enough ways to earn your points, then as far as redemptions are concerned, your status doesn't give you any particular head start in that redemption journey. So you should be fine redeeming directly in your J or F cabins. And as far as hotels are concerned, I've mentioned this before as well on this forum, depending on how many nights you organically need. So for, like I said, for most people, they're not traveling more than a month. So I'm talking about 30 nights. Most people are not doing 30 nights. I think far majority of the people do anywhere between, say, 10 to 15 nights organically, or maybe 20 nights, if their vacation packages and all of that are pretty substantial. And like I said, in the upper end, 9 out of 10 people are doing no more than 30 organic nights. Now, if you put in a little bit of money towards that, you can easily book the same status kind of features, either through a strong credit card acquisition, be it the Brilliant card, be it the Hilton Aspire card, or here in Canada, if you're looking at other programs like Amex, Fine Hotels and stuff, you'll pay a little bit extra in cash, of course, but you will be able to get a lot of that uh, status perk, the mid-tier status perk that most people want. And yes, of course, if you're completely averse to paying cash, then the idea can easily be switched into points as well, because hotel programs have gotten much better in making suites available on points upgrades as well, especially when you're doing redemptions or certificate nights and such. You can easily tack on a few more nights and book yourself directly into a better room. So look at doing those. So technically speaking, depending on where you are in that spectrum, if you organically need 30 nights or more in hotels, for example, sorry, then I can see an argument for doing a status run, like a dedicated status run all the time. But if you're doing anywhere between 15 to 20, then I would just get a Marriott card and do it, or the Hilton Aspire, like I said. Or if you're just in the Canadian market, get a Canadian card. You'll get your sort of whatever organic nights you need, plus the nights that come with your card, and you should be okay in terms of hitting that mid-tier if status is that valuable to you. Donna says, have to wait until mid-December for my last flight to get 50K. By my calculation, next year will only reach 35K. Yeah, I think, Donna, you and I are in the same boat, with the only exception being this year for whatever. I know the reason I sort of top loaded this year a little bit. This is the first time in many years that I don't have to worry about it, because my situation would be exactly like you. I think last year I did a status run to Vancouver, was it? I did a status run for sure, and it was mid-December, or maybe I went to Vegas. I forget, somewhere out west, just to lock in my status last minute. And I do this December run pretty much most years that I can remember. And I'm just happy I haven't left it to that late. Anthony says, only status I chase is Marriott Titanium for automatic 25K with Aeroplan and Silver with United. Yeah, that's a good one. And again, do your numbers, look at how much you're really gaining out of the silver with United or the 25K with Aeroplan to make it worthwhile. But if you're in the US game, that is a pretty clutch move to get your brilliant and then sort of work your way through to platinum through some organic nights or even mattress runs. That's pretty good when it gets you 25K with Aeroplan and silver with United. I recently posted a screenshot of the status thing on my Instagram. And a friend of mine messaged me saying that, oh, she is barely making it to 25 this year. And I found myself just quickly telling her that, you know what, in terms of more uh, meaningful acquisition of status, if somebody had to get status, 25K is really good for them. If you were already in that status tier, you don't want to worry as much about a 35. If you really want it, you should aim for 50. And again, 70, but the difference between 50 and 75 and 75 to 100 is quite a lot. So if I was making 50 organically and close enough to 75, instead of trying to run for 75, I would do my very best to see if I can get 100K unlocked. Like, you know what I mean? So I kind of felt like, I told her that 25K was more than good in terms of the kind of travel she was doing or the kind of perks she was hoping to get. But in my mind, 25K, 50K, 100K, these are the more meaningful steps in that status rung to sort of invest time and money in terms of achieving it. Donna says, using up my last of 75K premium economy priority rewards, heading to Australia next week for 4 weeks. Did a mattress run last week to get my Bonvoy level up to platinum. For lounge access at the Marriott's we'll be staying at. Nice, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple of priority rewards, only good for North America. I have a little bit of time. I think I should be able to use both of them for meetups and such across Canada, so not overly concerned. Are there people that are sitting on priority rewards that need to be used right off the back and just haven't touched it? Oh, the one perk that I constantly find underutilizing is, of course, the worldwide annual companion pass that I get with my reserve card through the spend. So now I let go of one last year, didn't do anything with it. There's one sitting in my account right now, and I just really don't have a plan for it. And too bad on my part that I haven't leveraged it properly in the past year. But this year, it sort of hit up my account maybe last month or thereabouts. So I have until end of September, early October next year. Need to come up with a way to sort of use that up if you folks have used it and have some decent sweet spots for the companion pass. Let me know. Let me know what you think is the best way to use it because I just haven't had a chance to use it in action. I know all the theories around it, but just haven't had to use it in action and just constantly find myself booking either J or first to begin with, even within my North America travel more often than not, I've just booked myself flex tickets and applied e-ups or just booked directly into J most times. So just have not had the chance or have not seen the value in the um, companion pass as such, at least just yet. For folks that so sort of coming back to Porter, tying to that first question from Grimsley, yeah, the Porter chat was nice. No, I did not particularly um, edit out any critical parts from it. The I mean, you can go through the video, and that's pretty much most of it. I did truncate a little bit of conversation around that one world because Brian and I we spoke at length about why and how an airline gets into One World Alliance. I obviously let him speak to the to squashing this idea that Porter is imminently getting ready for One World. They obviously see it more as a journey, as maybe down the years they can think about that, but nothing is coming up right now. But he also spent a bit of time talking about what are the conditions that have to be met to become an alliance partner and how difficult and costly that can be for airlines that are young and sort of up and coming. So allocation of resources is a big one. So that's the only piece I truncated that a little bit, just because I thought I probed him with a couple of questions too long. I felt. Outside of that, no, I didn't really truncate anything that should have been the case. Towards the very end, we did ask him about status match, and he didn't give a direct answer, but he didn't say no. He said maybe there's something around during the holidays where Porter would be positioning for a nice status match promotion. But again, couldn't give us much more details than that. So we're just hanging back and hoping that status match comes through for some folks, so that even if you are with Air Canada, you can status match that with Porter. That would be really nice. So we'll see. Uh, what were we talking about? We were talking about companion pass. For folks last week, if you've been waiting on your companion pass, check your Porter accounts. A few hours before we went live with the executives, companion pass emails went out across membership. So you should have your companion pass now in your account. And if you were hoping to use it for the next coming busy travel season, you should be able to apply that and get some proper value out of it. But for the time being, let's quickly transition to a few uh, promotions that sort of we've seen over the last week, and let's talk about those. And as usual, I'll continue to get your actions and reactions in the chat here. Um, Yeah, exactly. Alex is already talking about. So actually, you know what? Let's just talk about that promotion that Alex is talking about. So RBC Avion to Avios promotion is coming up soon, November 10th. So it is coming up in November 10th. It is not ready right now. So just putting it out there. If you quickly go in into your accounts right now, don't be frazzled that you don't see that because the start date is November 10th. So make sure you wait until November 10th before you transfer any of your Avion to Avios for that 30% bonus promotion. So November 10th to December 19th is the promotion. So you have 4 days from now before that promotion begins. And Also remember when you do the transfer, the standard points transfer comes through first, and then the 30% bonus comes through a little bit after. So don't be alarmed. And if you're doing it for an immediate redemption, just give it enough time for your redemptions to make sure that that 30% shows up separately as well, and you're not just left with the standard transfer because it will show up as a different transaction. The good news is if you're still waiting to lock in your the RBC Avion Visa Infinite, which is a 55K bonus promotion right now. That bonus is available until November 25th. So you have a couple of weeks and a nice little overlap. And of course, you won't be able to get the full 55K because even if you meet the spend, it requires a full statement for that 55K bonus to come through. But the 35K comes through upon approval. So if you need that 35K right away, you can get that card. You can get the platinum card. You can also get the VIP card, which is up to 70,000 points, and the first 35 is again upon approval. So good bunch of cards to sort of get you going. I think Ion cards, both Ion and Ion Plus as well, are expiring. The elevated bonus up to 21,000 on the Ion Plus is expiring end of November. So make sure you have that in your mind as well to utilize it or to at least get your acquisition in a timely fashion so that you can account for all of those points before transferring with that 30% bonus promotion. How many of you have, I shouldn't ask you a leading question, so let me try and rephrase. How has your experience been in trying to find, let's be honest, a lot of folks are just doing this Avion to Avios promotion for Qatar, right? Because that's been the most talked about redemption through Avios. So you can transfer it to Qatar Avios. The question is, how many of you have easily found standard rate redemptions in Qatar J or F, say in the last year? Have you been able to find standard redemption? We're not talking about Flexi Awards. So Flexi Awards are something different. Flexi Awards are readily available. They're dynamically priced. So Flexi Awards are readily available and still good value if you're doing first class, in my opinion. I think when I did it, I still paid. I did Montreal, Doha, Bangkok last year, and I paid something around 160 or 180,000, and I was fine because I was flying F, and it had been a while at pre-COVID before that since I'd done Qatar F. So I was happy to do it, but now that I think back and I'm like, you know what, that was a lot of points to do a Flexi award. So I have been struggling to find standard award availability at those standard rates, classic awards at those rates. Um, like I said, 9 out of 10 times I would see just those Flexi awards available. So Jackie Ma says, I booked Hong Kong Doha F as part of BA multi-carrier early this year. Yeah, that's the BA multi-carrier award booking. I'm particularly talking about using Qatar Avios to book yourself. Alex says, doing Montreal, Doha, Bangkok in JNF Saver. Nice. You got the Saver rate. Nice. 95K. Flexi is 190 now. Oof. Yeah. Uh, yeah, Saver Awards, exactly. That's the classic award, the Saver Award. Every airline calls it something different, and it's just been odd because I have answered, I'm going to say at least 8 to 10 email questions, email queries, or comments around this. The fact that people have transferred over stuff to Avios for Qatar redemptions and are not seeing or are unable to find Saver Award space, and they're constantly only finding Flexi. So I wondered, and because I haven't done it myself in the last year, I wondered how many of you were anecdotally seeing the same thing. Whereas I just feel like it's because a lot of people in the points community are now locked into this, and influencers are more and more Instagram influencers are talking about this purely from a card acquisition perspective because they all want to talk about that simply so that you can get your RBC cards through them. The influencers, I mean. And I'm not throwing shade at them. They're doing what they need to do. It's their business. But I feel like that has also meant that a lot of people followed that trail and now find themselves with a lot of Avios points, but no standard redemptions or Saver Reward space availability, or just haven't really unlocked the way to find and trigger. Trigger that redemption at the right time to find that Saver Reward space. Alex, any insights in terms of how far or how early you saw these Saver spaces that you booked yourself into? Put that in the comment. Let me know. But yeah, that's the promotion, which is RBC Avion to Avios promotion, coming back November 10th to December 19th. So very popular promotion coming up at you. So keep that in mind. We saw the announcement of the opening of the fourth Air Canada Cafe in Canada, which is fantastic, and it's now opened in Vancouver. Vancouver gets its first Air Canada Cafe on the domestic side, which is between gates C46 and 47. It should be very handy because every time I've seen the Maple Leaf Lounge, the domestic Maple Leaf Lounge, there's always a big lineup outside of it. So I'm super happy to see that Air Canada Cafe has come through. So for most of us that are not wanting to sit in a lounge for hours and hours, that's a nice space to be in to get in and out. And I love the cafe concept anyway. So super looking forward to visiting that new cafe. And to be honest, I didn't know that was the fourth. When initially read that in the media release, I was like, four, I know of three. I know of two for sure. Toronto, Montreal, and then Vancouver would be the third. I couldn't tell which the fourth was. And sure enough, I didn't realize the Billy Bishop, the one with the Aspire partnership, is considered an Air Canada cafe. I guess the concept is similar, but I never up until this news release came through, I never considered that as an Air Canada cafe per se. Like, you know what I mean? But I suppose they're counting that Billy Bishop Aspire Lounge as also an Air Canada cafe. So counting that, the Vancouver domestic one is now the fourth Air Canada cafe. The more recently, we saw the opening of the Montreal one as well. I think back in September, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, and Montreal apparently has two of them now, or are supposed to get one transborder as well. So we're waiting to see when the Montreal transborder Air Canada Cafe opens up, but that one is coming up soon. And they have already announced that once both the Air Canada cafes are fully operational, we will see the Maple Leaf Lounge go under renovation for a little while because it needs to be sort of redone and redesigned in a big way. Anthony is asking, what are the taxes these days on a Qatar Avios business class one way from either Toronto or Montreal to Doha on the Saver Awards? $300, I think, thereabouts, if I'm not misremembering. Alex, oh yeah, so Alex's response to that was, well, Qatar has been horrible for awards, or maybe just me. I got kicked out of my F flight 3 times and had to be firm with the agents to regain my flight. Luckily, I was flexible with dates, plus or minus 5 days. Ouch, that doesn't sound good at all. Okay, that makes more sense. Flying February 2026, you booked in March, so just about 11 months out. Had irregular operations August and September 25. Qatar has changed. Saver is harder to find at the end of calendar, not reliable. Married segments are more of an issue. And lastly, they are redeploying their planes at the moment, so quite a bit of equipment change. Yeah, yeah. I just didn't want to be so leading in terms of the way I was posing the question, but I suppose you got the gist of this is where I was getting at is a lot of people are finding a bit of buyer's remorse. And I'm not saying you shouldn't convert your Avion to Avios. Of course, do that. Of course, get your RBC cards, and of course, get it through me. Just kidding. You can get it through whoever you want to. uh, but yeah, essentially, just make sure you play around in those redemption portals before you make this change. Just don't do it because it's 30% bonus. 30% bonus is really nice. Don't get me wrong. Just have other plans outside of just Qatar or Q Suites or first class. Just have some plans of using it in case the Qatar thing doesn't pan out for you. And just because you get a 30% bonus doesn't mean that you should be booking Flexi Awards either, because it's a lot of points. Uh, yeah. So just fair warning. Every time I talk about RBC cards, I feel like I have to let people know that, hey, if the sole purpose for you to get these points or a card is for these points to be moved to Avios, just understand what's at stake. Because influencers won't tell you that. Social media influencers won't tell you about that. They would love to show you what a Q suite looks like, flash the card in front of you, and tell you how their flight was free. Uh, so beware. Yes, Grimsley. Yes, we will talk about the U.S. affected by the DOT's mandate, U.S. affected flights by DOT mandate. So may as well talk about it now. Where did I scribble? I scribbled something because I started reading a post by what was it called? Travel Codex, and they had a nice little post. So basically, what Grimsley is referring to is travel to and from the U.S. is going to become a bit of a nightmare in the coming weeks, especially during the holidays, because obviously with the FAA is bringing mandatory cuts. If you haven't been in the know, because of government shutdown and things like that, TSA agents and security folks haven't been getting paid. So more and more people, there's far fewer people working those security lines, TSA lines, and such. And things have been super slow. So the airlines are finally reacting to that and to this mandate being that has been brought down by the DOT through the FAA, which is cutting down of 10 to 20% of flights from key airports. So if you don't know which airports, according to Travel Codex, they have devised it again. This comes from some source to Travel Codex, and they wrote a post on this. So there are two tiers: 20% cut of flights from airports like uh, all the three airports in New York City, the two airports in Washington, D.C., Boston, Chicago, both the airports, San Francisco. Uh, these are all the 20% cuts, Philadelphia included. And then there's a tier two, which is a 10% cut in number of flights going in and out, which is Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, LAX, Vegas, Phoenix, Seattle, Miami, CLT, MSP, IAH, Houston, Salt Lake City, San Diego. PDX is something. You guys, yeah, thank you, Heather, for putting the little thing. Uh, yeah, this isn't going to end well, says Alex, with Thanksgiving around the corner. Um, PDX is Portland. Thank you, Heather. Oh, there's Sher Raja is here as well, and he's on a 5 hour delay right now. So yeah, basically, what's the way to circumvent this? If you are going into U.S. airports, sort of starting your journey at U.S. airports, just give yourself a little more time than usual in case the lineups are crazy and long and slow, which is very, very possible given the fewer number of TSA agents that'll be working and security folks that'll be working would be far fewer. So things could be really slow. And then keep a very close eye on your airline apps for any delays, cancellations, and throw in a little bit of irregular operations if you get weather conditions and whatnot. It's just going to be a bit of a nightmare in the next few weeks. Um, yeah, if you are traveling, say on United, you booked it through Air Canada, I would still say get your United app. Like, you know what I mean? Get the airline app that you are flying on because those are the ones that will update their systems first. Or do a flighty thing if you're doing that. Just um, have a good app, have good technology around you to help you navigate. And if you get a chance, if you think that there could be rolling delays, anything more than 3 hours could potentially really jam your plan. So see if they can rebook you. Again, those rebooking lines on the phone, lineups at customer service at the airports is going to be long. None of this is an easy hack. The only hack I can tell you is give yourself enough time, avoid US travel if possible in the next little while. Oh, there you go. Who's posted that? Somebody's posted a long queue because of government shutdown, Alex. Yeah. Of Houston security line. Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, it be warned. If you have plans, if these are redemptions, if there is flexibility around, see if you can avoid the US and just go in and out of Canada if possible. If you cannot avoid it, then just make sure you have some backup plans and such, and work closely with airline apps and other apps that can help you rebook yourself through different airports and such. And look at secondary airports. If you get stuck somewhere in a bigger airport, it might be worthwhile flying from that to a smaller secondary airport and then routing yourself from there into Canada if possible, or wherever you're headed. But the big major airports across the country are going to feel it in the next little while. We were talking about status match earlier, and I kind of wanted to mention the AirFrance status match or FlyingBlue status match is November 7th to 9th. Thank you, Heather. Dummy me. Should have realized weekend starts tomorrow and not 9, 10, 11. But yeah, November 7th to November 9th, 3 days, Scene Plus points days. Flying Blue status match is now available to Canadian residents. It's come back around. I think they had one very successful promotion last year, and this one's come back around as well now. It's a paid status promotion through statusmatch.com. So if you go on there and look for your Flying Blue promotion, you can submit your application. The good news is Air Canada status is applicable, and you can match your 50K to, say, a gold status with Flying Blue, and 75K and 100K will match to the highest platinum status. And for those of you that have been eyeing La Premiere, this might be the way to do it. Even if you were doing it as an aspirational one-time thing, I think doing this status match for the full year would be a great way to sort of see if you can get your La Premiere through that platinum status match with Air Canada. Of course, you have to be 75 or 100K with Air Canada, but the fact that that option is available is fantastic. And it is paid. So if you're looking for that gold status match, like 50K to gold, that's 299 Canadian. And for the platinum status match, they're looking at $500, 499. Is it absolutely worth it? I would say if you don't find yourself constantly on Flying Blue flights, or if you redeem directly into J, then no. But if you want to do a La Premiere as a one-time thing or as a couple of times next year, then getting that $500 in might be well worth the value and some more. Oh crap, I've left a few people in the wait room. Apologies. Who is it? I think Mike's joining in. Mike's in. Sorry, Mike, I left you in that wait room for a while. I was busy doing my jibber jabber and took away my eyes from the wait room there. Apologies once again. Welcome. Where was I? Yeah, Flying Blue status match. So yeah, it may be worth it for some. For most, I think it'll still not be worthwhile here in Canada. But what will be worthwhile if you're looking for it is there's a and I mean, we are getting into that Black Friday and holiday buying season. So eStore offers, the eStore offer with the Canadian Down and Feather Company is fantastic. You can earn, if you have elite status with the Aeroplan, you can earn as much as 22 times on all products. So no matter what you're purchasing from them, they are a premium sort of bedding and what do they call themselves? Basically sell pillows, mattress covers, and things like that, like premium on the premium end. So they're not cheap. But if you are looking for gifts or for yourself, then you can do it through the eStore. This is an eStore offer, up to 20x on the eStore. And if you're an elite member, then you get an additional 2x on top of that, so up to 22x. And it is solid. I think the first time we saw it was last year. This is the second year. Again, they've come around to doing this. So like I said, if we are talking about thousands of points that you can unlock through purchases through eStore with the Canadian Down and Feather Company. And that started November 3rd and will be available on November 16th. So another 10 days for you to make use of that or leverage that promotion if you are thinking of purchasing that kind of thing. Yeah, we spoke about US travel interruptions. Speaking of US things, the one thing that really caught my attention last week was the announcement of United MileagePlus debit rewards card. I really did not have a debit airline co-brand card on a bingo card, so to speak, for this year. Because the market is so heavy into credit cards, premium credit cards, spend more, even more, and then some more to get more points, that kind of deal, like hypercharged market with credit card acquisitions on points. I was pleasantly surprised to see United kind of almost do a bit of a throwback. For those of you that have been in this game, sort of pre 2008, 2009 financial meltdown, would remember that there were quite a few airlines that had, or banks that had co-brand debit cards as well at the time. Nothing flashy here, but the only thing I think in the reintroduced or the new United MileagePlus debit rewards card is the fact that new card members will earn a 10,000-mile bonus after approval and making $500 in qualifying purchases in the first 4 months. No credit check because it's a debit card. So if you have a US presence and a US address and you're a United member, this might be one of the easier 10,000 mile bonus acquisition just upon sort of approval and making $500 in qualifying purchases. So worthwhile. Take a look. I don't think this will be for everybody, but if you do have some United points floating around, 10,000 is pretty decent for a debit card that does no credit checks. So like I said, for those of you that have a presence in the US, this might be worth your while. One last thing about sort of from the very specific sort of travel industry per se, or the airline industry, is British Airways, again, to my surprise, have announced that they're going with Starlink. So British Airways becomes one of, I think, 4 or 5 major airlines in the world now that has announced Starlink for free Wi-Fi on board. It's coming up in 2026 for them. So quickly, the first question I thought when I read that news was, oh, what are the other airlines? I knew WestJet and United were here in North America. I forgot that Hawaiian is also Starlink. So those are the 3 North American airlines: Hawaiian, United, WestJet are all Starlink. Um, of the global ones, Qatar, Air New Zealand, I think are the big ones, and now British Airways. So another sort of good one to look for. So if you're flying any of these flights, look forward to connecting Starlink. I've flown United a few times now. I haven't seen any of their Starlink connections just yet. I think Sash and I were on our flight from Ottawa to Chicago, and I never bothered even checking Wi-Fi connection because I was too busy getting a nap in. But Sash did enjoy some Starlink in there. And on the way back, I really wanted to try out Starlink as well. There was no Starlink connection, or there was no Wi-Fi connection at all on that flight back from Chicago. But keep an eye out. With United, they did say that they'll start off with regional routes first, and hence it was on the Embraer 170, Embraer, whatever that flight is called, 175, or aircraft is called rather. And then the mainliners will eventually get. So 2026 is a big year for a lot of these airlines that have announced Starlink, Qatar being the exception. The others started off on smaller routes and are bringing it more and more to the bigger aircrafts. So keep an eye out for that if you enjoy free Wi-Fi. Free, fast, hopefully good enough to do fun games, good enough to do a couple of video calls or streaming, whatever the case might be. Let's see where that goes. Anthony says, any other Black Friday deals coming up? Not just eStore, but even an Aeroplan affiliated card. Anything posted on RFD, Reddit, etc. I haven't seen anything, Anthony, that caught my attention, but red flag deals is usually a big one, and that's where you would see some of these bigger deals, or especially these retail deals, as I call them, on Black Friday show up. So keep an eye out on that. I haven't. I mean, if as and when things come up with Aeroplan and Air Canada, they'll reach out to a whole bunch of us through media releases, and we'll share that. But right now, that eStore offer of 22x through the between November 3rd and 16th is like the first super early offer that's already in there. You can take a gander at the store and see if there's something else that has been loaded up. I haven't seen anything from Amazon just yet. Usually Amazon has something big. There's something big around gift cards, something big around credit cards as well. So we'll have to wait and see. The Friday deals are coming, but a little early, I think still. Next week might be the big one when we start seeing all those promotions being announced. Any news on other partners coming online for Porter redemptions? Asks Mike. Yes, on the call, they didn't say which partners, but they did say that imminently in the next few, I think he said weeks, but it could be months, that we will hear about more partners coming on board. So I asked if they were retail partners or travel partners, and he specifically said you'll see announcements on travel partners and other airline partners first. So I'm assuming in the first quarter of 2026, we should hear about more partners with Alaska. And then retail partners and such might be something that they'll look at late 2026 and beyond as they make those partnerships available for folks to use their Porter points away from flight redemptions. But right now, they said their focus is on airline partners, and we should be hearing about more partners in the next couple of months, I would say. So yeah, something's coming. We just don't know what it is or which partners. Um, I mean, they've exhausted everything from a One World perspective in North America. Uh, and the Air Transat partnership is expanding as well. So I wonder if there's something there that we'll hear about. Other partners in Europe maybe will be coming on board now that they have the Air Transat network sort of dipped into that network as well. So yeah, let's see. Let's hope. All right, folks. Just around that 10 p.m. mark here in Eastern Canada. So let's call this a night. Have a good one, folks. Take care.